Go ahead.
Can you please state and spell your name for the court reporter?
Joshua Kyle Lovic, Joshua Kyle Lovik.
And where are you employed?
I'm employed with the University of Iowa Police Department.
And what do you do for the University of Iowa Police Department?
Currently, I am a sergeant in charge of special events.
And can you describe your education and training for that position?
Yeah, I have a 4-year degree from the University of Iowa. As well, in 2014, I graduated from the Iowa Law Enforcement Academy, and since then I've had additional training opportunities to include sex assault investigations, interview and interrogation, as well as crime scene investigations.
And how long have you been at the University of Iowa Police Department?
Since April of 2014.
In April of 2022, were you employed there?
Yes, I was.
And what role or position did you have at that time?
At that time, I was a detective assigned to the investigations unit.
At some point on April 25th of 2022, were you made aware of an investigation at the Art Building West?
Yes, I was.
And can you tell us when you first became involved with that investigation?
I first became aware of the investigation on the evening of April 25th because of the Hawk Alert. At that time, I called the on-duty supervisor to see if I would be needed, and at that time I was told no, so I went to bed and woke up and went into work, and that's when I was notified that we would be needed for the investigation.
So Detective Lovic, we've heard, or Sergeant Lovic, excuse me, we've heard some discussion about Hawk Alerts in the past. Were you signed up to receive those alerts?
Yes, I was.
Seeing that it was an alert involving the university, that prompted you to call and ask if your assistance was needed?
Correct.
And do you recall if the Hawk Alert at that time, did you observe any photographs of a suspect or just a description?
No photographs, just a description.
Once you went into work the following day, can you tell us what the next step was in your involvement in this investigation?
Yeah, Lieutenant Tyrell notified me of the investigation and what he and Detective Cooper had done at that point. And then around approximately 8:15, 8:20, Lieutenant Tyrell informed me that they had a person of interest identified and that we were going to go try to locate that person.
And who was that person of interest?
Ali Younes.
And where did you go to first attempt to locate him?
Birch Hall.
Did you speak with or find Mr. Younes at Birch Hall?
We did not.
And what did you do next?
We waited outside of his dorm room and requested that maintenance come and change the lock to secure the room for a potential search warrant.
And what did you do after that?
We waited for maintenance, and once, while we were waiting, Ali's roommate arrived, and I talked to him briefly.
And do you recall who his roommate was at that time?
Carson Kirby.
And after speaking with Mr. Kirby, did you gain any further information on where Mr. Younes might be?
We did.
And what information did you determine at that point?
He shared with us that Ali was involved with a woman named Maria, and that he didn't have a last name, but while I was just talking with Ali, Lieutenant Tyrell was doing further investigation and potentially identified Maria.
And were you ultimately able to identify Maria?
Correct.
And do you recall her full name?
Maria Ortiz.
And were you able to determine where Miss Ortiz resided?
We were.
Do you recall where that was?
629 South Johnson Street, apartment number 1.
And once you were able to make that determination, what was your next steps in the investigation?
Once we were able to get the lock changed at Birch Hall and secure that room, we left Birch Hall and made our way to 629 South Johnson Street.
Did you encounter anyone at the apartment at 629 South Johnson Street?
We did.
And who did you encounter there?
Maria Ortiz answered the door.
Did you notice anything when Ms. Ortiz answered the door?
I did.
And what was that?
As she was standing in the doorway with the door open, there was a jacket or coat hanging from a chair that matched the description of the person of interest from the video that I had seen.
And at that point, you had an opportunity to review any surveillance video that other detectives may have gathered at that point.
That's correct.
Did the jacket that you've just described, did that match the video surveillance that you had seen?
Yes, it did.
Do you recall what that coat looked like?
It was a red, white, and blue puffer-style jacket or coat with horizontal stripes.
And after you made that observation, did you do anything further, or did you locate Mr. Younes at that time?
Yeah, I asked Maria Ortiz if Ali was there, and she confirmed he was, and I requested that she go get him and have him come to the door.
And was Mr. Younes in that residence?
Yes, he was.
And after you asked him to come out, what was your next step?
Ali began to speak with Lieutenant Tyrell while I spoke with Maria.
And at some point, did you transport Ali Younes to another location?
I did not, but an Iowa City police officer did, yes.
And where was he taken?
He was transported to the University of Iowa Police Department.
And what was the purpose in transporting him there?
To interview him.
And who conducted that interview?
I did.
And with this, what date was this that you conducted the interview?
It was the next day, April 26th.
Sergeant Lovic, are you aware of that the interview room has any camera recording equipment?
Yes.
And are you aware if cameras did in fact record the entirety of that interview?
Yes, they did.
And have you had an opportunity to review that interview video?
I have.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of your interview with Mr. Younes at that time?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, at this time the state moves to admit State's Exhibit 19.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor. At some point, my understanding is this exhibit will be offered in full, and I would like to make just a bit of record to guide the court as to the portions of it that may not be played here in court.
All right. Counsel, did you want to publish at this time?
Yes, Your Honor, and as Mr. Powell said, I intend to publish only portions of the exhibit at this time.
Okay. I'll just leave your laptop plugged in so you can... Are you going to play it from your laptop?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead whenever you're ready.
It's loading. does this appear to be the surveillance recording of that interview?
Yes, it does.
For the record, in the video, about 29 minutes and 20 seconds.
So I went to the gym. I probably came back at 8, and then I was studying. But I'm pretty sure that Maria came and picked me up.
Okay, after you were studying? What time was that that Maria picked you up? Roughly.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
maybe like 9:30.
Where'd she pick you up at?
Verge. Probably like the front verge. That's where she always comes. If you want more accurate times, she probably knows the times better.
Okay. What did you do after that?
Yesterday,
Yeah.
there's a spot that I had. I was smoking pot too. I went there too.
Where's that at?
Do you know the president's house?
Mm-hmm.
Right behind him, you know the greenery area?
Kind of like by the river?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there.
Okay, so you go down there.
Yeah.
Is it like you take that sidewalk that's between the river and the president's house, and you like walk down that sidewalk, and then like you can either go over a bridge or you can walk into the green space?
Yeah.
You're talking that green space?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you went and smoked some weed down there? What time was that at?
I usually go at night.
Was that before or after Maria picked you up?
Yesterday I went during the day because Maria picks me up and I have to go there during the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was it before Maria?
Yeah, maybe it was like at 4 or something.
Okay. But no later than that?
Yeah.
How certain are you
I'm like 100% sure.
that you weren't there any later than 4?
Yeah. 4 or 5.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's go from there. So at 5 o'clock, what'd you do after you smoked some weed?
I probably went back to eat. And then I like to hit the gym when I'm kind of high too. Because I can lift just as much. And I feel the muscle contraction a lot more when I do it.
After you smoke weed?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you go work out or not? Do you remember? Okay. So at 7 o'clock, after you smoked weed, you went back to your place? You went back to Burge? Okay. What'd you do after that? At 5?
Just studied. And then probably just hang out with Maria after.
Probably, or?
No, yesterday I think. Yeah, yesterday for sure.
So from 5 o'clock until Maria picked you up at 9:30, you just studied? You didn't do anything else? You didn't leave? You didn't go anywhere else between now and then? Okay. Can you remember any other details about your day? Do you remember what you were studying?
Sociology.
Okay.
And I have a paper for history of the Middle East, but I haven't finished that yet. Maria's helping me with that.
Okay. Was Carson in the room at this point last night?
Last night he was there, yeah.
Okay. So then you left at 9:30, went with Maria, and what did you guys do after that?
We were at her house.
Went back to her house?
Yeah.
What'd you guys do at Maria's?
We watch TV. We eat. There's some more stuff, but I don't think that's relevant.
What's that more stuff?
Like we have sex sometimes.
Okay. Did you guys have sex?
Yeah.
What else?
With Maria.
What else did you guys do at Maria's place?
That's it.
Okay. You didn't do anything else? You just hung out, watched TV, had sex. What time did you guys go to bed?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
5.
Like 5 this morning? You went to bed?
Yeah.
So you guys stayed up 5 in the morning, Sunday night into Monday, and then Monday into today, you stayed up till 5 as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Monday night, I stayed up till like 7. Couldn't sleep at all.
Like Monday morning?
Yeah.
Like you went to bed 7 o'clock Monday morning, woke up at 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just really slept for 7 hours.
Yeah. And then you woke up, you went to bed at 5 o'clock this morning, woke up and we knocked on the door?
Yeah.
When was the last time? Did you guys smoke at all last night? At Maria's? Okay. And you had smoked before that as well?
Yeah.
All right, can you, so I'm just going to have you go back a little bit, go back to kind of like your Sunday night, Monday morning, and just kind of walk me through that again, okay?
Sunday night, Monday morning.
Yep. Like what happened on Sunday night?
So me and Maria went to this park, and then I dropped her keys in the water because I was trying to pick her up like this. She had my keys right here, tried to pick her up. She fell, like she was gonna slip, and then I was gonna catch her, but then the keys flew out of my hand. It fell in the river. Still haven't gotten up yet.
Okay.
And then we just went back. We had friends with us, and we drove in their car back to their house, their apartment, to get the keys. And this happened in Coralville. And we went back to Coralville to look for the keys. I jumped in the water to go get them the first time, but I couldn't stay in. It was way too cold. I'm not used to that cold at all. I had to get out right away. I tried, but I couldn't at all. Couldn't physically take that cold, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, so you dropped your keys in the car. Keys are still in the water, sorry. And then you guys went back out of spares, I take it. And then you guys left.
Yeah.
And then Sunday night, are you hanging out at Maria's house again? Okay, and you stay the night. You go to bed about 5 o'clock in the morning and wake up at 2.
We don't always do that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just trying to get an idea of what happened that night, right? You woke up at 5, or went to bed at 5, woke up at 2 in the afternoon, and then walk me through your Monday again, yesterday. Walk me through from the time you woke up.
Monday?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. All of yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yesterday. Yesterday, I think I woke up at like 2, and I think I showered, and then I probably ate some food, and then probably went back to my room, studied, probably went to the gym too. Probably listened to some music.
Okay.
And then at night I went out, smoked weed.
And that was at what time?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Last night.
You went and smoked weed at 9?
Yeah.
Okay, you told me you smoked weed at 5. Is it 9 or 5?
It was fun the day before.
Like on Sunday?
Yeah.
So last night you went out and smoked weed at 9 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and where'd you go smoke last night?
I went under the bridge.
What bridge?
Do you know the greenery area?
The what?
The greenery area?
Like by where you usually smoke?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I went under the bridge.
Which one?
The first one. Right by the greenery.
Right by the green, like the footbridge?
Yeah.
You went underneath there and smoked?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you smoke with anybody or you smoke by yourself?
By myself.
Okay. So this was at 9 o'clock at night, not 5?
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you do after that, after you smoked? How long do you think you were out there smoking?
Maybe like an hour.
Okay. And then what?
And I kept going on a walk.
Okay. Tell me about that walk.
I'm just going to tell you the truth, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because I know what this is about.
Okay. Go ahead and tell me.
It's about that woman.
Okay. What happened?
She was like, I was smoking weed, you know. I walked through that bridge after I was done. And then I sat on my chairs. And I saw a bunch of people walk by me, but I was smoking weed. And then I kept going. And I saw this woman that was really far, and there was somebody behind her. I didn't really care. And the only reason I went to buy the chemistry building is because by the art building is because I always go. I go with Maria, there's videos. Yesterday I climbed on that broken tree. Maybe the day before or the day before that. And I played with the ducks, I jumped from the mountain, not even. I always go there and I feed the ducks. They have a lot of sesame seed and apple. I always go there. And I saw this dude chasing this woman. And then I kept following them. And then they were so much ahead of me. They were like, it's like the woman was kind of running, and that dude was like behind her, and they were about to turn beside the building, and I was still on the other side. I could barely see him. I came across from the side, from the left, and I saw them too. And then I kept walking. I didn't really think it was a big deal, honestly. I should have ran, to be honest with you. I should have ran right as fast as I could. Go see what happened. Because then I went and I found her and she was passed out on the ground. And I wasn't sure what happened, but I was pretty sure that he hurt her because there was somebody and he wasn't there and she was laying on the ground.
Okay. What did he look like?
I didn't see him.
Okay, but you said he was following her?
Yeah.
And you didn't see what he was wearing?
He was wearing like black jeans and he was like 6'2", 6'3". He was a pretty tall guy.
Okay.
And he had like a half white and half red jacket.
Okay. Okay. What else did he look like?
I didn't see his face, but none of them turned around.
Okay.
Too.
Whereabouts did you see him and her?
Where what?
Whereabouts did you start seeing him and her?
When did I start seeing him? Do you know this building that's like right here? And there's a river right here. And there's a bridge right here. Not the one that I go to, not the one by the green area. That one's right here. There's another bridge right here.
Kind of further down by like the IMU?
Yeah. Or by the chemistry. Yeah, by the IMU, yeah. To the left, to the right of the IMU.
Yep, by the IMU.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going there, and I just passed that building to the right of me. Seen that old building.
Okay.
I have never been there, but it looks pretty old, and
Yeah.
I really wanted to go in there because I like old stuff, but I wanted to go in there.
Okay.
And that's when I saw them. They were about to turn.
Okay. So you saw her like at that bridge?
No, that's where I was. I was like right after that bridge. I was right by the old building, and they were like all the way there.
Okay. On the other side of the river?
Yeah.
Okay. And so like you were on this side of the river,
Yeah.
and she was on this side of the river?
No, it's not that. If you have a map, I can show you, or I can draw it.
You want to draw it for me?
Yeah. Let's see. This is a river. This is where they smoked the pot. And there's a river right here. And there's this other bridge right here. That's where I smoked pot. That's my side. That's like the Jailhouse side. And
So-
that's our building side.
So this is a bridge and this is a bridge?
Yeah.
Okay. You smoked weed there?
Yeah.
Okay. And where's like the president's house? Since we're talking about that. Okay. And then where's Birch Hall?
Oh, the president's house must be right here, actually.
Okay. And then where's Birch Hall?
Birch Hall. Yeah, we'll be somewhere here.
Okay. And you smoked weed at this one?
Yeah.
That's closer to Birch Hall?
Yeah.
And then this is the one down by the IMU?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you just want to write like Birch Hall right there for me?
And this president's house.
And then, so this is the bridge, and then where's the IMU in relation to this? Or that, you mentioned an old art building you walked by?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
Okay, so that's my spot. That should be right here. So after the bridge got out, it was right here.
So that's like the old art building?
Is it?
Is that what you're talking about? Or the theater building, or, you're talking about some older building?
Yeah.
So there's like, okay. On the other side of the river, from where you smoked weed and like from
Yeah.
where birds are?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's right here.
Okay. And so where were you at?
I was like right here. And this is our building.
Sure. Yep.
This is a walkway. This is like the water.
Yep.
That's like whatever trees. They were like the beginning of it, and everything happened right here.
Okay. What happened right there?
I'm not sure what happened right there. That's what I didn't know, and that's what I got scared of.
Why'd you get scared?
I was super high last night, and I saw her, and I freaked out.
Okay. What happened here?
I took her earrings. That's why I freaked out.
What'd you do with them?
I took them and I wanted to give them back. I was like, this is stupid and pointless. I wanted to give them back. But right when I wanted to, I looked at the app and I saw those girls, and I got scared, and I was like, I wanted to call 911, but I didn't want to get involved. Especially because I was Middle Eastern too. I figured people in my high school were racist, and I was scared I'm gonna be blamed right away.
What'd you do with the earrings?
I have them.
Where are they at?
Maria's house. I can bring them to you guys.
Whereabouts are they at Maria's house?
They're in Sofico in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
You can write it down if you want.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
They're in the bathroom. You open the middle window. You open the floss.
I'm just gonna write that down. Okay.
And then the floss bottle.
Bathroom.
Yeah.
Like in the cabinet? The mirror, is it like a mirror cabinet?
Yeah, middle one.
Middle mirror cabinet, and they're in a what? A floss?
Yeah.
Like a floss container?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I did some things wrong. I shouldn't have taken these earrings, and smoking weed is also wrong because it's against the law, but morally I don't think it's wrong, but stealing the earrings is morally wrong. And I'm really sorry.
Tell me what happened to that girl.
My prediction is, to be honest with you, is that somebody that, I don't know if they knew her or not, but I think it was a robbery.
Ali, tell me what happened to that girl.
I don't know what happened to that girl. He must have choked her or snapped her neck. I don't know. She was laying there. And she was looking kind of purple. And I was scared. I don't like blood. I hate blood.
Did you see blood?
No, I didn't see blood, but I think she was attacked. I knew somebody had to have attacked her.
What'd you do to her, Ali?
I didn't touch her. I just touched her earrings. I shouldn't have taken them. On the road, I wanted to get somebody. I was like, this is so wrong. Fuck it. Fuck the earrings. That's what I'm telling you. I can not understand anything with the earrings.
Yeah. I want to know what happened to that girl.
And I'm pretty sure she choked. Choked her neck snapped.
Ali, you and I both know that's not what happened. Tell me what happened to that girl. You do know. You seem like a good guy. You seem like a good dude. Okay? I can tell this is weighing on you, man. Alright? I can tell. Okay? Sometimes we do things that we regret, and it doesn't represent who we are. I understand that. Okay? I think something happened last night. You already told me that you were super high. And sometimes we do things when we're super high or we're drunk or whatever it may be that isn't who we are. But we still did them, and we got to live with it. Right? We got to take responsibility for our actions. We got to own it. All right? You already owned that you took her earrings. Okay? What did you do to her? Tell me what you did. Think of your little sister. Think if somebody did that to her. What happened? You're out smoking weed, right? Under the bridge? Okay. And then what happened after that? Walk me through it. Walk me through how we got over here, okay? Walk me through how we got from here to over here. Where did you first see her? Was that before or after you crossed the bridge? Before?
No, I crossed the bridge first.
Okay. So you smoked weed over here, and based on your drawing, you crossed the river to the west side, to the side that our building's on, and then you walk down towards the IMU Bridge. Okay, and then you're right here. And where was she at? Where was that girl at? She was down there on the other side of the river. And which way was she walking? She was walking towards you? Okay.
When I was like right here.
Okay, and then, so then what did you do when you got here?
I was kind of bored and then I started going, but I went in front of her. And I was sat right here. Those chairs. I was trying to light up some weed.
So you went and sat in these chairs?
Yeah.
And you waited for her?
No. I was in front of her.
You were in front of her?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened? So you walked across the bridge, and then you came back?
Yeah.
And she was here the whole time?
She was like, when I was right here, she was probably somewhere here.
Okay. And then when did you go sit down and try to light up some more weed?
When I went down here,
Okay.
to the left, and the same person that walked to that here.
And where was she at?
She was behind me when I walked back. I saw her trying to come in, and I didn't want to walk behind her, not scare her. So I was like, I want to go over there and still smoke some more weed. I didn't want to go back to Bird. So I was like, I want to go back, and I was planning on going back to like just chill somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And this must be a different thing. I think I've left the side of these like I sat in the chair and wanted to smoke some because I think this whole thing is twisted. I think this is my weak spot. I think this is where the art building is.
Okay.
If you hadn't known the map, you can tell.
No, that's fine. So you met her on the bridge. Is that what you're telling me? Okay. And then when you saw her, then you followed her?
I didn't follow her.
Or she followed you?
Yeah.
Tell me then what happened over here. How did you get over here, Ali?
When I went there, I was kind of bored. I wanted to go look at the ducks. I know where their place is right here between the check. Their nest is right here.
Okay.
And they had a lot of eggs.
Okay.
So I went there. I wanted to go there, and I saw this woman and this man, and they got really suspicious. It was weird. And I was way, way far, but I didn't care. I didn't really care, to be honest with you. I was like, what if this could be someone like my mom or sister? I didn't want to go check.
What happened to that girl?
She got choked. I bet saw more on her neck, too.
Ali, what did you do to her?
I didn't do anything.
Ali, like I said, man, I think you're a good person. I think you're a good human being. Sometimes we make mistakes. Right? Even good people screw up. We fuck up. Right? What happened to that girl?
Are you about to cry?
What's that?
Are you gonna cry?
I'm not gonna cry.
I was wondering.
No. Can you tell me what happened to that girl?
Probably got choked. Is she dead?
What happened to her?
She got choked.
What did you do after those two girls showed up?
I wanted to call the cops, but I didn't want to get involved.
Why not?
Because of this.
Because of what?
You would never believe it.
I want to know what happened to that girl.
I choked. Anybody could have. The reports that Caucasian male with brown hair.
Ali,
Because they saw him. I didn't see his face.
Ali, we have cameras in the area. We have cameras all over campus.
I was walking. They saw me walking.
We have cameras all over campus. Okay?
I know.
Yeah, you know. All right. We didn't just come find you by accident. All right? Sometimes we make mistakes. We gotta live with them. We gotta come clean. We all make mistakes, man. Think if somebody did that to your little sister, or your mom, or your girlfriend.
Be terrible. I just don't do it to other people's.
Ali, you and I both know that's not how it happened. I want to know how it happened. Okay?
I told you how it happened. There's nothing else to even say.
Did you have your phone with you that night?
My phone's dead.
How'd you get a hold of Maria?
I told her.
But your phone was dead.
It died after I was with her. I was with her the whole time. I don't have anything with the location on.
That's not what I'm asking.
But even if I did, I was there. I told you.
Why did you pick her? Did she say something as you guys walked by each other?
No, it doesn't.
Then what happened?
What happened is that somebody choked her. And I could have gone away with a few thousand because the earrings are diamond, but I told you about it because I just want to get out of this thing. I didn't want to get involved because I knew this was going to happen. And I have the earrings and I can give them to you.
Why'd you take the earrings?
Because I figured they were worth a lot of money.
But you had your phone on you,
Yeah.
and you didn't want to call anybody to come help
Because I
them.
was super high. If I was conscious, I would have probably called people right away.
Ali, come on, man.
You're a really nice person, man.
You are too.
That's just how it works.
We gotta own our mistakes, man. You got a long life ahead of you.
Not with this.
Just listen to me, okay? You got a long life ahead of you, man. You got a bright future. But you got to be able to take accountability for your actions. You got to own it. You got to take responsibility. We all make mistakes. The only way we're going to grow from them and learn from them is if we own them. Right? I don't think you're a monster. I think you're a good dude. But what people are seeing is a monster, right? Whoever did this, right? This is your opportunity to tell me what happened. To tell me your side of the story. Walk me through it again, okay, Ali? Walk me through what happened.
What happened to that woman?
If you need to draw another picture, go ahead and draw another picture.
Don't answer some of my questions, too. Answer all yours.
I think you know what happened to that woman.
What happened to her?
You were there.
Pretty sure she was alive on the ground.
Okay?
So what happened to her?
She is alive.
Should be able to identify her.
I want to know what happened, Ali. Tell me what happened. This is your opportunity. Is that on a piece of paper?
What is the charge for this?
We'll talk about that later. I want to know what happened. You're smoking weed, right? How much weed do you think you smoked?
Half a gram.
Okay. What'd you do after that?
Not a loss.
Can you show me where your walk went? Okay.
Like right here.
Okay. So you crossed over to the other side of the register? Okay. And then what'd you do?
Walk right here.
Okay.
And then we're like, where the trail is like this. There's a house on it too.
Okay.
Pretty sure they stopped somewhere though. Pretty sure this is where the weed spot is. I'm already gonna get charges for weed. I know that. And theft.
I'm not worried. I'm worried about what happened on the skull. That's what I want to know what happened.
But I'll still get charged for this and theft.
What happened after here?
That's it, man. I told you everything.
Where did you see this other guy following this girl?
Somewhere right here.
Where did you first see him and her?
Right here.
Or they said you saw her over here.
Her, yeah, with him, with her, with her right here. And then he came from the parking lot. Or the other side. Or he could have been walking from this part of the trail too. There's many possibilities. Parking, trail, the mountain.
So you're telling me if I go look at the cameras from here, I'm gonna see another guy?
You want to see another guy here or here?
Ali, you and I both know that's not what happened.
Can't say what.
What really happened? Tell me what happened when you first saw that girl on the bridge.
Well, I saw someone walking with some laptop bag or something.
Okay. What were you thinking?
Nothing.
Okay.
So you know what I wanted to do?
And what was that?
Go back and smoke more weed.
Okay. What did you do after you saw that girl?
I was like, I want to go back and smoke weed too.
Okay, so did you cross the bridge?
Yeah.
So you were over here, and you crossed the bridge to smoke weed over here?
Yeah.
And is that what you did?
Here.
So was this spot on the Art West side? Okay, so you crossed the bridge, saw the girl,
Yeah.
came back, sat down and smoked weed?
Yeah.
And where was that girl at that point?
And I was smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
She was walking all the way here.
Okay. And where, so you walked all the way to the other side of the bridge and turned around
Yeah.
in front of her or behind
In
her?
front of us, so she doesn't get scared.
Okay. And where did she go?
She just kept going forward.
Ali, you know we have cameras in that area.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. She kept going.
Ali,
She had proof he would just send me to jail. They would cuff me.
Ali, what happened?
It's really simple, man. Wait for like for over here. Over here.
Okay. You and I both know that's not what happened. Okay. There's nobody else on the bridge. There's nobody else over here.
There's many people.
No, there's not.
On that bridge.
Not at that time of night.
There were people.
There were other people,
Yeah.
not people following her.
Yeah, but there were people.
There was one person following her.
And you're gonna say that too.
It was you. I want to know what happened to her over here. You and I both know what happened, Ali. You and I both know what happened there. What did you do to that girl? Why did you do that to her? That's what people want to know. That's what she wants to know. That's what we want to know.
No, you just have to look at me. She can tell you it's not me.
What happened? What did you do to her?
I stole from her.
What else did you do to her?
That's it.
Where did this guy go after he...
He probably climbed up the mountain. It's easy.
Ali, you really think somebody else came up to her, assaulted her, you came up to look at her, you took her earrings, and then you ran off when other people showed up?
Because I was high, and I stole something from her.
What did you do to her?
I stole from her. Stole her earrings.
You didn't do anything else to her.
No, I didn't hurt her. Why would I hurt her? That's pointless. I can have sex anytime. Why would I care about that? There's a lot of chicks that chase me too. Why would I just go assault a random person?
That's what I'm here to find out. That's what I want to know.
I told you all I know.
What do you think happened to her?
It could have been someone she knew because I think it was struggle.
What else? What do you think happened to her?
I think somebody I knew was taking revenge on her.
Okay. What did they do to her?
They were trying to hurt her.
How so? Do you know how?
Must have been something with the neck because, and she was purple, so some must have been choking.
Anything else? Yeah. I already told you, man. This is your opportunity to tell me what happened. Is that what you're going to stick with?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just hang tight. I'll be right back with you.
For the record, stopping the video at 1 hour, 11 minutes, 56 seconds. Sergeant Lovic, can you tell us what the defendant told you about his familiarity with the Art Building West?
He was fairly familiar with the area. He, on his own free time, would enjoy going to the pond area to, as he described it, play with the ducks. And there was a nest with a bunch of eggs there from the duck, and he just enjoyed going there, feeding them, spending time there.
We heard in the video the defendant provided a description of the individual that he said was chasing the woman. Is there any similarity between the description he provided and the hawkler?
Yes.
And what similarities were there?
The fact that the person was wearing a red and white coat and was a Caucasian male.
And would that have been in the description alert that you got before any pictures were sent out?
Correct, yes.
Sergeant, can you tell us if, did the defendant change his story throughout the course of your interview with him?
Yes, he did.
And what were the differences?
Initially, his times were off. He said that he went and smoked weed between 4 and 5 o'clock down by the bridge and returned to his dorm room for the rest of the night before leaving his dorm and hanging out with Maria. And then he changed it to that he went on a walk after smoking weed, which ended up being later in the evening, to the west side of the river, as well as some details as far as what he did on that walk.
And in the interview with him, we hear the defendant admit to taking the woman's earrings. Is that right?
That is correct.
Did he provide a description? I know it was somewhat difficult to hear in the video, but did he provide a description of where those earrings were located?
Yes, he did.
And did you pass that information along to other investigators?
I did.
And can you just briefly tell us how the defendant described the woman in your interview with him? To clarify, after he's noticed her on the ground, how did he describe her?
Oh, okay. He described her as being purple and spit around her mouth, unresponsive, not talking, not making any noise.
For the record, we're going to move forward in video. For the record, we're beginning the video again at 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 34 seconds.
How long do you think you were looking at the pond?
Just a minute.
Okay. And then where'd you go?
I just kept going forward. I walked to check on what happened. Kind of curious.
But like, there's a big wall here. There's like a big retaining wall. Like, where'd you stop to look at the pond? Like on the street side or?
Yeah.
Oh, on the street side?
Yeah.
Okay. And then where'd you go?
I just kept following that trail.
Then you followed that trail?
Yeah.
And that's where you found her?
Yeah. Because I've been on the trail before. Like me and Maria went there.
Okay. And then you found her.
Yeah.
And what'd you do at that point?
Well, first I freaked out. I was trying to find out who she is. I touched her. I was gonna look in her wall for ID, but I thought that was pointless. I wanted to see if she was alive. And then she was like purple, and it was like spit too.
What do you mean spit?
I thought there was like water in her mouth.
How could you see that?
I know I saw some like piece of spit outside of her mouth.
Oh, like on the outside?
Yeah.
Gotcha. And when you say she was purple, was it her face that was purple or
Yeah, I think her lip was a little purple.
lip?
Yeah.
Okay. Was she making any noise?
Mm-mm.
Did she say anything?
I didn't think she was alive.
Okay.
That's why I took the earrings, to be honest with you. But I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And then the girls came, and I freaked out. I thought they would for sure think it was me that did it. Because I was the only one there, and there was a woman laying down in front of me.
Yeah?
That's the logical thing, isn't it?
Well, I think the logical thing is when we find people that are laying down that aren't breathing or conscious or awake, is to call the police. You had a phone on you that was working, and you didn't call the police. Why didn't you call the police?
I took the earrings first.
And why? And you took the earrings? Why?
Because I knew they were diamonds.
Because they were expensive. So you were more concerned over some property of somebody.
Oh, I thought she was dead.
Okay. So
So I
you
was like,
thought. So you found a dead body. You think you find a dead body, and you take their earrings rather than call the police.
Jaime did that, yeah.
What's that?
Jaime did that.
Okay. So these girls come and you freak out, and then what'd you do when you freaked out?
I just left.
Okay. Where'd you leave?
I crossed the street, took a right, went on this bridge.
Like you went back the same way?
Yeah,
You went down
this bridge.
the IMU bridge? Okay. And then you went back to...
I went to Bridge and then Maria picked me up.
Okay. Did you tell Maria what happened?
No.
Okay. Did you tell her anything about what had happened?
Doesn't know anything.
Okay. Did she say...
For the record, stopping the video at 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 40 seconds. Sergeant Lovic, obviously this is not the entirety of your interview. Did you make any other notes of, or did you note any other statements that the defendant made to you regarding the woman?
Yeah, it was at this point that he shared that he believed that she was dead.
Did he make any further changes in his story throughout the course of your interview with him?
He at that point, he generally stuck with his version of events.
After completed your interview with the defendant, did you have any further involvement in this investigation?
I did.
And what else did you do?
I assisted with some follow-up interviews, located some video footage from CAN buses and business from that evening. That's about it.
Sergeant Lovic, you earlier testified that there was a description provided in the Hockler, is that right?
That is correct.
Was there any information specifically about a woman being choked in the Hockler?
Not specifically that. It just said that there was an assault with injury.
So that information wouldn't have been public at that point?
Correct.
Thank you. No further questions.
Cross-examination?
Thank you, Your Honor. Sergeant, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I have very few questions for you. We just watched a portion of this rather lengthy video that you, I guess, participated in and recorded, correct?
That's correct.
In terms of asking you if you recall certain things that my client said, would you agree that the recording is probably the most accurate of what was said by either one of you?
Yes.
You were just a moment ago asked about a portion where Mr. Younes indicated that he thought the woman on the ground was dead, right?
Correct.
Earlier in the interview, he had said that he believed she was alive on the ground, right?
Correct.
And regardless, I think it's clear you don't believe that Mr. Younes was telling the truth about quite a few things that he said in this interview, correct?
I would say that's accurate, yeah.
In other words, you don't believe he was telling the truth about watching another male following the victim across the bridge or any of that information, correct?
About that specifically, correct.
In other words, you think that at least several of the statements that Mr. Younes made during this interview were lies or not the truth?
Correct.
All right. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Redirect?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You can step down. You could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give will be true?
I do.
Okay, please have a seat. And then once you're seated, you'll be asked some questions. Please speak slowly and clearly into the microphone in response.
Okay.
Go ahead, counsel, when you're ready.
Thank you. Can you please state and spell your name for the court reporter?
Yeah. My first name is Brett, B-R-E-T-T. My last name is Cooper, C-O-O-P-E-R.
And can you tell us where you are employed?
Yep. I work for the University of Iowa Police Department.
And what do you do for the police department?
I'm a detective in the investigations unit.
And about how long have you worked there?
I've been with the university since 2013. I've been in investigations since 2019.
And can you describe your education and training for that position?
Yep. I graduated from Kirkwood Community College in December of 2012, and then I began my law enforcement career with the University Heights Police Department as a reserve police officer in 2011 until 2013.
And in April of 2022, were you a detective then as well?
I was.
On April 25th of 2022, were you made aware of an incident on campus at the Art Building West?
I was made aware April 26th of the incident that occurred on April 25th.
And can you just tell us how you began the investigation or what you started with?
Yep. So I was notified that morning from my supervisor that there was an incident that occurred, and so I came into work early that morning, and then I was briefed by my supervisor and the responding officer as well.
And after you kind of gathered that information, what did you do next?
I then contacted the victim in the incident, and she agreed to meet with me at her residence.
And did you meet with Ms. Rizzo?
I did.
And as you began to gather that information, were you able to develop a suspect in the case at that point?
We were.
And was that the defendant, Ali Younes?
It was.
Once you met with Ms. Rizzo and began to develop the defendant as a suspect, what was your next step?
At that point, other detectives went to the defendant's residence as I was working on getting search warrants for the residence and for his DNA, his clothing, his phone, things like that.
And did you continue to provide updates and information to the other officers who were working in other areas of the investigation?
I did. We were in contact with each other.
Was the defendant then eventually arrested?
Initially, he was detained, taken to our department, and then after the interview with one of the other detectives, at that point he was arrested, yes.
And were you made aware that the defendant at some point made or posted bond in the case that he was charged with?
I was. Yeah.
At some point were you made aware that the defendant was on a GPS ankle monitor?
I was.
And in May of 2023, do you recall what happened with the defendant on his GPS ankle monitor?
Yep. I was notified that he had cut his ankle monitor and ultimately fled the country.
And were you involved in that investigation as well?
I was.
And where did the defendant flee to?
The Kingdom of Jordan.
And were you made aware then, Detective Cooper, at some point when the defendant returned to the United States?
I was.
And do you recall what date or around what date he returned?
I don't recall the date specifically off the top of my head. I remember it was in September.
And what year would
24.
that have been? I'm sorry, what year was that?
2024.
And in September of 2024, did you have the occasion to conduct an interview with the defendant?
I did.
And where was that interview conducted at?
I was at Johnson County Jail.
And did you, was that interview recorded on any surveillance or body-worn camera?
It was on my body camera.
Did you have an opportunity to review that body-worn camera?
I did.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of your interview with the defendant?
It is.
Your Honor, at this time I would move to admit State's Exhibit 23.
Any objection?
No objection.
Okay, Exhibit 23 is admitted, and if you like, you can publish.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before we start the video, Detective Cooper, does this appear to be the angle that your body camera captured at the jail in September of 2024?
It does.
And was anyone else conducting the interview with you?
Detective Mallory was with me.
For the record, we're going to begin the video at 13 minutes and 3 seconds.
Back to the original incident that I earlier was. Can you tell me what was going on that night?
I was really drunk, and I saw her, and I saw she had a bag, and I didn't know what was wrong. I got mad, and I attacked her, and I took her earrings, but as I did it, I was like, this is bad, and I was like, I saved her life, and then I looked back, and then I saw two girls, and I was like, yeah, if I get caught here, I'll get arrested for sure, so I tried not to get arrested. I left. Yeah.
So, when you said you attacked her, what was going through your mind at that point?
Nothing, man. I was really high. I couldn't even think. I just got pissed and I thought she had a lot of money.
Okay. And so that was the only reason why you attacked her, is because you thought she had money?
Yeah, in her purse.
Okay. And so, before you want to do anything else?
No.
Okay.
Like, I didn't assault her. I didn't touch her clothes. I checked. I wasn't in it for sex or anything like that. I just wanted the money. I had a girlfriend.
Yeah. Maria, right?
Yeah.
And so you weren't going to do anything sexual to her?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I just want to make sure. And so then you took the earrings. What were we going to do with those?
I wasn't going to sell them. I thought they were even fake. I was really hungry.
They were big, weren't they?
Delusion, huge ass earrings.
Yeah. And so, were you going to give those to Maria? kind of assumed that was your plan with it. And so I remember when you talked to the other detective that day, you said that you thought that she was dead.
Yeah.
Did you think you killed her? So you thought you killed her?
No, I didn't think she was 100% dead. I just knew she was like not awake for sure. So,
Gotcha.
and I was trying to resuscitate her, like give her CPR, but I wasn't trying to breathe her in her mouth. I wanted to just like see if she could breathe again, because I was like, what have I just done?
And so she wasn't breathing at all at that point.
I wasn't sure, but I thought she could have even faked it, because when she stopped like moving, she kind of moved her arms slowly, and I thought it was a little unnatural. So I thought she could have been like on purpose to make me stop. But as I realized I was doing it, I stopped.
Yeah. I know that sometimes when people are at a state where they're losing blood flow and everybody, sometimes their body makes involuntary movements. So I'm guessing that's probably what was going on with her.
I think so. I felt really bad. I was going to call the cops for real, but I figured they'd instantly arrest me, and I wanted to escape, but I didn't even try to leave the country. I knew I was going to get arrested the next day. So I just spent one more night with Maria before I went to jail.
Yeah. And then, if I remember, you saw the hawk alert then that morning when you woke up.
Even at night, Maria told me there was a dude with the white, blue, and black jacket locked, and I was like, not me.
Yeah, that's not even she saying to you. What?
Yeah, she asked me. Oh, sorry. I was like, not me, Maria.
Did she believe you?
I think she believed me, but it was suspicious.
Yeah. Is that all you said to her? Was that it wasn't you?
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know who did it.
This is the shaggy defense. It wasn't me.
Yeah, I told her it was me.
Ali, did you put your hands around that lady's neck?
Yeah, I did it. It was me.
Did she lose consciousness right when you hit her and she went down, or did she lose consciousness after you?
After I choked her. But it wasn't long, I stopped right away. When I went to attack her, I wasn't even going to her. She turned around and I just grabbed her.
Okay. Do you know anything about that lady?
No, I've never seen her before. It's the first time ever.
I mean, now, after looking it up and...
I just saw that she's in a jewelry deal with
Yeah.
a family in Iowa City.
Yeah, that's the big giant jewels, or the big giant earrings. So, you're going to have to get a new defense attorney. Like the attorney who was representing you before can't be your attorney again this time. So someone's going to have to defend you or speak on your behalf in court in the future. And so a lot of stuff has to be redone. So this is going to be a slow sucking process. It's going to suck. Did you and your defense attorney, or maybe one of the detectives before, ever show you the video?
No.
Did you ever see the video that we had with you that night?
No, I just saw pictures of me walking around. I wasn't sure if there was a video of me doing it. If there was, it wouldn't have let me out, right?
That's a good question for a judge. The judge should let you out the first time. So, what I want to ask you about is, there are cameras all over the campus. They're everywhere. So, the detectives that night were able to track your movements before you attacked the lady and afterwards. They could see what you were doing ahead of time. And I want to ask you about the girl that you originally first saw.
Yeah.
You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
what made you, I mean, the video, I can see you walking behind that younger jogger girl. Yeah. And going across the bridge. Yeah. And something that stuck with me every time I've ever watched that video is I watched you. You're walking, following that first girl, and you see, the lady's name is Anne. Yeah. And you see Anne as you're walking across the bridge. Yeah. And I can see your face, and you stop, and you turn, and you look at Anne. Yeah. And you look back at the girl who's up in front of you, and you kind of like make a decision. You remember doing that? Yeah. What made you change your mind?
I was just gonna go home, and then I saw her, and I was like, oh.
Once you changed your mind and you went after Anne, did you realize she was as old as she was?
No, I thought she was like 40s, but when I saw her video on the internet, I figured she was older because I saw big wrinkles on her face.
Yeah. That night, did you think she was a college kid?
No.
You knew she was an adult?
Yeah, but I thought she could have been a professional in the art building, but it was closed.
That's a good point, yeah.
I figured she was just like somebody from college leaving in the car.
Yeah.
Just parked up.
The reason why that particular moment in time bothers me is because it feels like you're changing your mind. It feels like you were going to do something or go after the younger girl, and then you changed your mind and decided to go after the older one. Whether you knew that she was older or not, or whatever. I mean, you got the young, super hot smoking girl in front of you, and then you got this lady who you end up passing by and you turn around and end up going after her. That's something that sticks with me. Ever since I saw that video, that's something that just like really resonates in my head. And I was just hoping I could use this opportunity for you to explain to me what was going on in your head at that moment.
It was like I was just gonna smoke weed back in the other stuff.
Yeah.
And I was gonna go home because I usually take some time to take a trip or walk around the forest because I like trees and nature. Anyway, I was gonna go home to my room in Birch Hall.
Yeah.
With my roommate from Cameron or something.
Yeah.
And I went there. I was going. And I saw her, and I was like, I best take some money. But I wasn't gonna hurt her. I was just gonna snatch her down. She was running. So I was really suspicious, but I just kept going. I was gonna take her back. I looked into it, but I found no money and I left. But I thought the earrings were like $20. That would be just nice to, keep or give to a breeder.
Yeah.
So I did.
You.
For the record, stop you at 29 minutes and 12 seconds. Detective Cooper, initially when the defendant was charged with these crimes, do you recall when that was?
It would have been April 26th of 2022.
And you testified that his escape was in May of 2023, is that right?
Correct.
Do you recall if this case had been set for trial at that point?
It had.
We heard on the video some talk about defense attorney. Did the defendant admit that he had reviewed some of that evidence with his attorney?
He did.
And when you conducted this interview, this was in September of 2024.
Correct.
Thank you, Detective Cooper. No further questions.
Cross-examination.
Thank you. Detective, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Detective Cooper, you would agree that that interview, and to be clear, that is, we can't see you, but you're talking, right? That's your body camera?
Correct, yes.
And then is that Detective Mallory also sitting at the table?
Correct.
We only saw a portion of that recorded interview, correct?
Correct.
First of all, would you agree that in terms of what exactly my client said during that interview, the recording is probably the most reliable way to figure that out?
Correct.
I mean, in other words, rather than you being asked what he said or didn't say, the recording itself would be the best piece of evidence for that.
Correct.
Later on in that interview, did Detective Mallory asked Mr. Younes if he had anything he wanted to say to Ms. Rizzo
He did.
and offered him like a piece of paper to write a note to him.
Correct.
And that portion would be on the interview at a later time.
Correct.
Do you remember what the note said?
I don't remember verbatim, but the summary of it was that he was sorry for what he did to her, and that he was the one that attacked her, and that he hopes that she forgives him.
And he didn't mean to, and he was not in the right state of mind, something like that.
Again, I don't remember the exact wordage, but I believe so.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any further questions. Thanks.
All right. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. Thank you. You can step down.